to understand that the children come from different backgrounds. Because when we say children, we feel children are all the same. And I have to admit that we have not reached all of them. And we are talking about 33.6% of our population. And especially those vulnerable ones. They are around us, but they are without the support system at home. They are without support system in the community, including schools. If you look at the National Commission on Women and Children report, they've received from 2009 to 2020, they have received around 530 cases. And it says 70% of victims happens to be children. And the analysis also says that for women and children were sexually assaulted every month in the last 11 years. And NCWC 2016 Violence Against Children study also says 1 in 10 children aged between 13 to 17 have experienced at least one incident of sexual violence in their lifetime. 13.5% girls, 11.9% boys. And the worst is 60% of victims knew their perpetrators. 16% of the perpetrators are their fathers, relatives, and siblings. Parents, institutions, schools are concerned more about their reputation more than the life of the child. So the message I want to pass on here is, be assured that child abuse is prevalent in Bhutan, and it is a very, very serious concern.
During the article, I tried to find out understand why our youth have become almost synonymous to problems. I have also tried to understand why whether we as teachers, as parents, as a society, if we have tried to look beyond the problems and if we have tried to address the problems. While doing this article, I talked to many teachers who say that a lot of parents do not raise their children as they should. Many children come to school distracted, mainly because of family problems and also because of lack of guidance. Our youth today are glued to gadgets almost 24 hours, that when they come to school, they cannot pay attention in the classes. A lot of our parents are too busy, according to the teachers, either making money or gambling, that they do not have time for their children. I have also found out that a lot of our parents are overseas, leaving their children here with relatives and guardians. I talked to many parents who were ever ready to blame our teachers, who accuse that the teachers are not disciplining their children or teaching the right thing in the school. When I asked some of the parents how much time they spent with their children and if they know what their children do in their leisure time, a lot of them did not have answers. Our society, I think, we have become apathetic to a lot of our youth problems. And we, like Dr. Meenakshi said, I agree that there are our laws, policies, regulations. We have very grand policies, regulations, rules that are supposed to enable safe upbringing of children and also children engagement. But then most of them, I should say, have remained on paper and it has never been implemented. So what can we do? We have this kind of problems, but what can we do, Silabachan? I think as government, commitment is there, but that commitment should translate to action. The youth policy, Amritsar here, Mosmula, it's still being revised. For the last 2 years, it has been under revision. In the youth policy, then a lot of acts can be children related, and this should be translated to action. Then, since a lot of us here are teachers and CSOG members, I would like to say that if we want to change lives of our youth, teachers and CSO members have an important role in Bela. Teachers, I know a lot of us benefited from the generosity of our teachers, and I should say the teachers play a huge role in making lives better for our children.
But when it comes to an issue like climate change, it seems like a phenomenon that doesn't happen here, that maybe happens somewhere where tsunamis or earthquakes occur. So that aspect of this issue being very real and very human and very near to us is lost to many of us in Bela. But the question for this issue particularly is, then what do we do? How do we have young people care about climate change? So I posit two arguments. So the first thing is really the structural factors. So what are these factors? The structural factors. So I talk about education as a very important factor that's going to have our young people willing and also able to take climate action. Then the second factor is really what I call agency, that's personal responsibility. What can all of us do? I'm a firm believer in policies and structural factors that enable people, but I think we also really should not discount personal responsibility. And specifically talking to young people, I make a couple of suggestions. So I will mention one particular suggestion that I make, which is on seeking intergenerational allyship or allyships generally. So what we really do then here is to go around, talk to each other and seek allies, seek people who, or make people understand and get people on board who care about this issue.